The Indian T20 League 2022 is going to be bigger this time with the addition of two new teams. We've had a massive 2 days of the auction. Teams have revamped their structures. We have a set of cricket fans. Arun usually joins us, so he's joining in also today. But we have a couple of other cricket fans joining us today to discuss all about what happened at the auction. Let's welcome all the guests today on our show here at Timeout with SportsAdda. Hello, everyone. Arun, hello from New Zealand. Bhavik, Salil, welcome on Time Out with Sports Adda.
Thank you so
Hey
much,
Akhil,
Akhil. It's
nice to
pleasure.
be here. Thanks.
Cricket fans, Akhil, true cricket fans. 4:30 in the morning, and I
I was
watched
just going
every
to say
minute
that.
of the auction, and we're talking about it.
Excellent.
Absolutely. I think it's been 15, 16 hours. Even I've been like watching and like everybody at home is wondering what the hell is happening. Why is this like taking so long? Uh, if, first thoughts. Arun, you're in New Zealand. You managed to see the auction, good auction for a couple of New Zealand boys also. First thoughts I'd like to take from each of you. We are all cricket fans here to talk about. Seen a lot of analysis. We've seen a lot of analysis today. A lot of number crunching from experts on Twitter, on social media, on TV also. So we as cricket fans today we have an opportunity to voice our opinions. We'll start with Arun. Your first thoughts.
I've got several first thoughts, Akhil, not just one. Several first thoughts, but I'll go one by one. Uh, on this show, on this panel, only one person's lost his hair. I thought all four would have lost a lot more hair trying to understand what happened in the auction, but it's only Salil who's lost a bit of hair. Sorry, Salil. But I'm trying to understand what happened there, and I cannot explain the math. Or I mean, I've obviously posted on social media. I cannot understand the math, the reasoning, the logic behind a lot of those moves. That's point number.
Yeah,
That's my first point. First thought is, and I'm going to make this a bit of a controversial thing here. I don't think a squad size of 25 works for 10 teams. I don't think there's enough quality there, honestly.
good
I
point.
mean, if you looked at the picks at the back end of the auction, it was all shambles.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's enough quality for a 25 member squad across 10 teams.
Sure. Sure, good point there. I like that. We're gonna have a chat about that much more going ahead. Salil, your thoughts about what transpired, what has stayed with you over the last 2 days? There's been so much action, so many players coming through. Maybe a couple of pointers that you think have stayed with you.
Well, I think the one thing that I've seen is the older franchises and the older successful franchises like CSK and Mumbai have tried to maintain their template of players. They've mostly bought all the players that they had, even an SRH, if we go to see their team. And they've put their faith in the boys that they've invested in and they've rebought them. While you have the other guys like Delhi who've gone for new players who've played around in the auction, I think they were quite naughty with that and
Hmm.
teams like Punjab who came with a set plan and have gone out with good teams. But I still feel that there are some players that could have been in these, like rightly like Arun mentioned, 25 players, little lack of quality, missing players like Shakib Al Hassan. I think is a small dent to this kind of quality. I think you could have managed that. But all in all, I think a few of the teams do have some pluses and minuses. But the older teams, I think, look to be slightly stronger in their
Sharper.
belief and the template that they've chosen. Yeah.
Good one there. Bhavik, what do you make out of the auction? Players will be the happiest. Somebody like a Deepak Chahar, and we'll get to that list of 10 crore plus very soon after you had your say.
Well, of course, the world's richest league for a reason, and if you look at, sort of the amount that has been spent by each franchise, not just on one player or two player, but that splurge has been phenomenal, and I guess that should be one of the most important and talking point of this show.
Good one there. Before I get on to, I will go through a list of players who've gone for large sums. Over 10 CR is what we'll ideally try because the list otherwise will go on too long. One thought that was coming to
Mhm.
me, Arun, Salil, Bhavik, while I was watching is these younger lot of players, who've gone for so much money. They should in their head always go and thank certain Mr. Lalit Modi, right, for what this has come through. I mean, it's been so long now.
Yeah,
I don't think this generation of players would even know
true.
who Lalit Modi is or the kind of difficulties that he would have faced while putting this structure together. But phenomenal,
Yeah,
just the way that they have gone. Uh, okay, if we can have a look at the
And
graphics of
and
the players
and
who've gone.
and while we're on
Yeah,
this,
Arun.
Akhil, sorry, while we're on this, since you're speaking about the IPL, Lalit Modi, I've got to say this. I've read a couple of stories in the media saying the IPL may dispense with this player auction and they might look at a
Yeah,
draft. I think that's absolute bullshit. I mean, one of the differentiating factors or one of the thing that's different about the Indian T20 League is the auction, right? It's the most
yeah.
looked forward to non-cricketing cricket event in the world.
yeah,
So why would you want to lose the
yeah.
USP of the league? I think they should continue with the auction. I've seen Sundar Raman has mentioned this in an interview. I completely second that. I think the Indian T20 league should continue, should persist with the auction. There's a thrill to it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We don't understand it. We criticize it, yes, but that's the USP of the league.
Yeah,
true
keeps
that.
all the teams on par, avoids any behind the back kind of dealing, too much of that, so keeps everybody on par. All right, we'll leave that for another day, but quick look at the players that have come in. Would love to know your thoughts about each of them and like what do you make of them, whether they are good picks, bad picks, what can we expect this player to stay with the team for 3 years or not? Because while this has been a 3 year auction, all right, so we have a lot of players who've gone for high numbers. I think Ishan Kishan, uh, 15 crores. Everybody was expecting everybody was expecting him to go for a high number, but did you expect 15.25 crores?
I did. I
Well,
definitely did.
yeah,
He was among the top two, three players you expected to who for which teams would break the bank. So Ishan Kishan definitely.
Salil?
yeah. I think Ishan Kishan was one player who I think Mumbai would really wanted to buy back purely because they've lost. They need a pure opener, and he also doubles up as a wicket keeper, which is like a big boon in this league. So, and he's also played for India recently. Uh, so I think it's a good buy.
What do you think, Bhavik? Yeah, Ishan Kishan, why didn't they retain him? Why would they allow him to go in the auction and like not pick him in the retention?
Well, if you see Akash Ambani, he was right. This was his position when Ishan Kishan's name came. There was no sign of him putting that boat down. So I'm sure they were going all guns for him. I mean, leaving out Surya could have been a problem for them, and of course Bumrah was a no-brainer, in the retentions list. So yes, Ishan Kishan going out, but the way they fought and they got him back is remarkable, truly remarkable.
Okay. The next one is a very, very interesting story. Deepak Chahar has been around in the first class season, and I've spoken with Arun about this. He's been in the first class circuit for a while, started with a bang in the first class season, but it's only after he's come to a certain team has when he started to see success. Was a no-brainer, right? We all assumed that Chennai will pick
Yes.
him, and if you've seen his interview, very heartwarming interview, isn't it? Bhavik, did you see his interview?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, backing your player, I mean, with such a high amount I really feel, it's remarkable for a team, not just a team, but how much it backs a player to go there and perform. So, yes, I really feel this is a very good move. But again, as you said, is it a good pick or a bad pick? I would just, sort of say that is it an overpriced pick or a sort of, lesser priced pick? For me, 2 to 3 crores overpriced. But then again, being a Chennai fan, I really fancy this deal.
Okay, I think we are
Yeah.
like loaded with Chennai fans here. Salil,
Oh yes.
Well, I think Deepak Chair has really proved his mettle in the last 6, 8 months. There have been a couple of matches where he's played for India where a lot of wickets had gone down and he showed his, mettle in his batting. So I think he brings that kind of aggression. Also, that he's played under Dhoni for a couple of seasons, so you know the mental conditioning of these players is to naturally absorb the pressure. So getting a player like, and that too an Indian player in your squad, with these kind of skills is really a boon for a team like Chennai, who's literally a dad bod team. They don't have the biggest of hitters or the fastest of bowlers, but they just join these strong pieces so well and run like an engine. I think Deepak Chair is an absolute fit, and I think they paid the right price for him. He'll make sure he takes those wickets.
Okay, Arun, I'm going to come in for the next player to you directly. Uh, this was something that everybody was looking forward to. Shreyas Iyer has been a captain for Delhi for a while. He's been a promising player for India for a while. So him going at such a high price of over 12 crores was, again, everybody had anticipated that. But did you anticipate the team that finally took him?
Two things here, Akhil. The first thing is uh, 12.25 crores. A, we were reading that a certain Bangalore had kept aside 20 crores.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean, I found
Yes,
that
yes.
yes,
ridiculous.
yes,
I
yes.
found that absolutely ridiculous. And then when following the auction, I think Bangalore backed out very early. When it came to Shreyas Iyer, I don't think they put in too many bids, if they bid at all. So that is the first bit. Second bit, why Kolkata? I mean, I understand. I mean, I don't know. Kolkata and Shreyas Iyer for me, a little hard to explain. I understand his quality, his captaincy material, he's one for the future, but why Kolkata?
Salil, what do you think? Why you were surprised he didn't go to a Bangalore or
Um,
or maybe a Punjab who also needed a captain?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is one of the biggest reasons why they would have picked Shreyas Iyer, purely because there's no Owen Morgan. Dinesh Karthik was gone, and clearly there's no one else. They needed someone to, at least have for at least maybe a year or two. So maybe it might be a stopgap arrangement, purely because the
Hmm.
way the IPL went. But he does have a lot of promise in him. And they
Okay.
also mentioned, I don't even know if it's because of the captaincy, because the owners mentioned that they also might be considering Ajinkya Rahane, who they got very cheaply for a crore. So that's something to look out for. It's still a mystery to me, like they're mystery spinners.
Okay, okay, superb there. So there are a lot of other players who are there in the 10 crore plus bracket. We are just going to have a quick glance through all of them, and then if there are any specific comments or thoughts which you do not totally understand or which we can discuss very quickly. Liam Livingston there, hard hitting
Wow.
batter, also bowls leg spin, off spin, superb. Like was expecting him to go not so high. Yeah, we can have the next one.
Yeah.
Overrated, Akhil. I'll mention this point blank. I think Liam Livingston's overrated. Overrated
Yeah.
definitely for 11.5 crores. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Agreed.
That tag price would only justify if he's bowling 3 to 4 overs every match.
Agreed, agreed, absolutely
That
agreed.
is
I
one of the
mean, he's a
points.
six-seater. He's a proven six-seater, but that amount, not for me.
Yeah. Nicholas Puran at 10.75 crores. Nicholas Puran, we've spoken about him very glowingly on this show. Salil, Arun, and me, we really like this batter. But
Yeah.
10.75 crores,
Yeah.
quick thought about Nicholas Puran.
Well, clearly, I think being a franchise like Hyderabad, they would invest in players that be with them for more than 4 or 5 years. He does have a lot of talent. He's recently captained for West Indies, so I think it's a long-term perspective that they're trying to, get him in. And losing out on Warner, they need another good left-handed batsman plus a wicket keeper. I think Nicholas Puran can be one of the strongholds for this franchise going forward in the next few years. That's the only reason why I would think that they would pick a guy like him.
Thumbs down from me. If you were to ask me, thumbs down.
Yeah,
Consistency is the only key. Consistency with Puran is sort of the issue, and if he sort of overcomes that, then the only reason, we see him at
Ma
that top order.
Match winner Akhil on his day, yes, but he can't score a run in India, right? We've seen him struggle against the spinners, and we can't get a read into his form, in the last, let's say,
Yeah.
last 1 year. So given these two conditions, thumbs down from me.
Nicholas Puran, 10.75 crores, like he spoke. Who is our next player who is there in the 10 crore plus club? There are quite a few who we got in the list today. Okay,
Actually,
this
I'll
one
tell
is
you what,
interesting.
Akhil.
Yeah,
Actually, I'll tell you what, Akhil. If you were to focus on all the 10 crore, there's a lot of pace bowlers, there's a lot of quick bowlers, and I think that's the
Exactly.
story of the auction for me.
good one.
Yeah.
A
If we
lot of
can quickly
Indian pace
glance through
bowlers.
the,
Yeah,
yeah, another pace bowler here, Arun, right? Loki
there you go. That's
Ferguson,
that's
Shardul
that's three in
Thakur,
a row, Akhil. That's three in a row.
three in a
We've
row.
seen fast bowlers. Yeah,
Though
four
Lord
in a
might
row
just get
now.
offended if you just call him only a fast bowler. He's a batter, quite batter also. Prasidh
but,
Krishna,
but
another one,
see,
Avesh Khan. So
five in a row. Yeah, I hope our producer is not playing out just the fast bowlers, but all members of the 10 crore club. We've seen five in a row here.
those are all the Indian, actually not just Indian, they are the fast bowlers over 10 crores. So if we can glance through the other names also on the list, interesting lot. I mean, Arun has picked up on the fast bowling option, and I was talking to one of the analysts, Arun. He mentioned that everybody will need to have quick bowlers if the matches are going to happen in Mumbai specifically, because both CCI and Wankhede, where the matches will happen, will have a good bounce, and you'll need good fast bowling attacks to have in your squad. So that's why maybe at least for the first year you buy and spend. The next year, depending on what the rules are, you can either keep the player or let go of him and look at buying somebody else. So maybe that's the thought. Any other players? If I can request our producers to get us the rest of the players who in the 10 crore plus bracket.
I mean, there are so many. There are so many. This is our
Awesome.
favorite. This is my favorite.
This is our favorite. Yes.
Absolutely my favorite. And I've read comments that this player is not worthy of this. He's not delivered yet. Uh, but we know Akhil. We know what this player is capable of. He's an absolute
Yeah,
superman.
absolutely.
Absolute superman. We've not seen
Yeah,
him
Salim.
deliver the goods with the bat yet, but he's quite capable. Can bat, can bowl, and he's a brilliant fielder anywhere in the field. He
And
makes things happen.
And to add to what Arun said, he's also the number one T20 bowler in the world currently. We've watched him very closely in that series versus India before we played the test matches, and I think he was absolutely brilliant. That's a good buy that they've got. He's one of the mainstays of the revival of Sri Lankan cricket team.
Bhavik, thumbs up, thumbs down.
A thumbs up for me actually, but again, the same thing as Arun bhai mentioned here. Batting is something which will be tested in that heavy RCB batting lineup. So let's see how he finishes the game. I'm sure he has that. He's been picked for that role, and it'll be interesting to see how he copes up to that role.
I'll be
Okay.
happy if he can score 5 ball 20s or 6 ball 20s. That is all that I'll
Exactly.
expect
Yes.
from Hasaranga with the bat.
Yeah.
He's shown he has the potential to do that. So yeah, why not? He's always delivered under pressure somehow. And a good thing is that Virat Kohli doesn't have a leg spinner to trouble him. So I'm happy that way.
One less leg spinner. Let
Okay, great. So let's quickly have a we while there is a lot of players that we have to discuss. I'd love to take thoughts of each of you on the squad compositions. The auction is still going on, and there are certain players still going under the hammer. But we have the core of each team, right? There is a core already being formed.
Mhm.
Most of the big picks have already
Yeah.
been made. So we'll just go through the key players by each team, and then maybe we'll just have our thoughts on the surprises there, the ones that we had predicted or you got right. So let's start with the defending champions and the team which is the favorite here, Chennai.
I'm giving the Chennai squad as they put it together a 3 out of 5, Akil. I have issues with this in the sense that they've obviously stuck to the players they're familiar with. So age is
Yeah,
again going to be a factor. I mean, I know we've said age should not be a factor, but a lot of these players, at least some of these players, are a year older. They don't play any other cricket, so that's going to
yeah.
be a challenge.
Yeah.
How long will they continue to be part of this team? That's another question for me, right? And something I touched upon before the auction, Akhil, where is the future captain in that list? If we can bring that list up again, where is the
Yeah.
future captain? Why did Chennai not identify and pick a captain?
I think Ravindra Jadeja is going
Yeah.
to be their captain, Arun.
I
Or
am not
maybe
so
Suraj
convinced,
Suraj
Akhil. I know
Gaikwad.
Gaikwad.
we had this argument. I know we had this discussion a couple of days ago. I'm not convinced Jadeja is captain material for me, and he's one of your top players, Akhil. Would you want to burden him with responsibility of captaincy? Can bat. He's a he's become a match winner with a bat. Can contribute cameos. Skillful bowler. Outstanding in the field. Do you really want to burden him with captaincy? I'm not so sure.
Bhavik, your favorite team also?
Well, yes, favorite team, and after every auction, we are just doubting on how CSK has picked their troops. But at the same time, with that particular troop, everything that CSK does on the field, I guess it's black magic. I mean, no one would sort of believe that, okay, dad's army
Yeah.
going there, biggest league in the world and winning it handsomely, like every games that they, sort of play, it's like, it's just like a dream.
Hmm. Salil, this
Well,
is this is
I
the squad
think
which is till 8:30 p.m. So the auction is still on. There might be a few additions. But your thoughts, Salil?
yeah.
Chennai got it right. How many out of five would you give them?
Well, I think I would give them a 4 on 5 purely because they've stuck to what they do best. They've not tried to be any flashy. They've lost out
Hmm.
on a Faf du Plessis, but they've replaced Devin Conway. They've missed out on a Suresh Raina, or they didn't buy him again, and they've got a
Yeah.
Shivam Dubey for 4 crores. Most of their team remains the same. They have in players who playing for India like Ruturaj Gaikwad. You talk about Deepak Chair or Ravindra Jadeja. You know Ambati Raidu, how good he is in the domestic circuit. So if their teams remain the same as compared to the other franchises who have rapidly changed, it might just work in the first year of this IPL in where all these new teams and more 40 matches are going to be joined. So all in all, I think they've worked on a certain plan and they've been able to execute that.
Yes, that's a good one. Okay. Uh, Next one I wanted to bring forth is again a team which has been extremely successful. Mumbai Indians have always gone into the auctions with some strategy, with a lot of clarity. So many people sitting there
And money.
who understand the game. Thankfully, they are on par with the rest of the teams here in terms of money, so they go in with par with everyone. But Mumbai squad again, like I mentioned, it's the squad is still 8:30, so there have been a couple of additions there. But the core and quick thumbs up, thumbs down for the Jofra Archer decision. Were you shocked? I was definitely zapped. They're
Not,
going for him, but thumbs up, thumbs down.
yeah. Thumbs up,
Top,
absolute
top,
thumbs up from
top,
me.
top decision.
Because
Okay,
because I
two
think
two
what they're
with
going to
top
And
do is
decisions.
just break the back. Yeah, they just got to break the back, of the batsman with this kind of bowling. Because they also got Timal Mills, for an easy bargain later on for 1.5 crores. So you have a Bumrah, Jofra Archer, and a Timal Mills coming at you, and you've got an Ishan Kishan, and your batters have mostly remained the same. So I think all in all, the bowling attack looks extremely deadly, full of pace, and that would work because like you said, they're going to play most of the matches on 1KD or CCI. I think Mumbai's pretty much got their work cut out, and they got a good score.
The
Bhavik,
one thing
okay
that
with the
I
Jofra
thought,
decision?
sorry, Akhil, just
it's
one point,
yeah.
one quick point. I think uh, at a certain until a certain point in time, I think Mumbai were a spinner shot. I think that's the
Yeah.
one area they were lacking.
Yeah,
So
they got a
the
Murugan
Jofra
Ashwin,
Archer
which
move,
you
of
know.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Murugan
Bhavik.
is there. So the Jofra Archer move, it's interesting to me only because he would come out from a break. So like he's not playing this year, he'll be representing Mumbai in the 2023 IPL. Hopefully, with the fragile he carries with him, I'm sure he's top guy. He's very fit, but it'll be very interesting to see if he's fit again for the 2023 IPL, and also that if he's coming out from the break, would he be at his lethal best? So that is the only concern that I have with Jofra Archer. But again, 8 crores for him is not at all a bad buy.
I'm. Before we move on to the next team, I'm predicting a left field here, and we should record this and keep. There will be a big transfer that Mumbai will do. Maybe after
Hmm.
this season, there will be a big transfer. They are one. They plan for
Yeah.
future, so there will be a move that I think they will go aggressively behind Shreyas Iyer to try and get him back to Mumbai in such a
Yeah.
way that whenever
Yeah.
Rohit decides to stop playing, they have their next captain. I don't think they'll look
Local
beyond
boy.
Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Okay, so that's Mumbai. We'll go with Kolkata next. They were the finalists last time. Successful team. Have won the title a couple of times after Gautam Gambhir when he was a captain there. I think this is quite a decent selection. Bhavik, you want to go first and give us your thoughts? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Again, a 50-50 sort of a situation, because they've let go Shubman Gill. They got in Ajinkya Rahane to get that. Ajinkya would definitely act as someone who would just rotate around the strike, and Venkatesh Iyer gets that free flowing, sort of a role. But again, will they open with Sunil Narayan? Will Alex Hales get an opportunity here? Interesting to see. But again, the bowling heavy side that we have always known Kolkata for, I guess they might just, sort of get in that top four again.
Salil, you think they are missing a fast bowler? One fast bowler too less?
Well, well, I think yes, that would be one of their problems purely because they've lost out on all the pace. They're not. We don't know about the availability of Pat Cummins for the entire duration of this year's IPL. So maybe they are a fast bowler short, but I think what they've done on that front, they look a little batting heavy with the kind of players that they selected later on. I think they got Sam Billings and Alex Hales. So I think in a way there might be a little bit of imbalance there, and we'll have to see and wait till they break out the captaincy bubble thing that they've got there. Whether it's Shreyas Iyer, whether it's Ajinkya Rahane.
Arun, Andre Russell still very important. Why don't they get him completely fit and like make sure that he's available to play 14 matches? Even if you can get him as a batter, isn't that going to be such a big boon? I hope he plays all the games this time without having to worry about that hamstring, which
Yeah.
he every time he clutches onto. Just get him to bat, right?
I, I think the last year was a little difficult. I think this year and the next year, we will see Andre Russell in his full form. A fit Andre Russell is
More
definitely
needed.
what Kolkata need, and they'll get him.
Yeah.
They'll get that Andre Russell.
All right, that's good to hear. Hoping Andre Russell gets them the way that he batted in a couple of seasons. Yeah, Arun.
I, I, I mean, I'm just looking at that Kolkata lineup again, Akhil. I'm looking for
Sure.
a wicket keeper in there, right? From my
Sam
notes, I'm
Billings.
just I'm just yeah. So that's
They've
one
picked Sam
spot taken
Billings.
away then. If they take Sam Billings as the wicket keeper, that's one overseas spot taken away,
Yeah,
right?
they
Maybe
have
So you're
Andre
left
Sheldon.
with
Russell, they
three
have
then.
Sunil Narayan, and Pat Cummins. So
C-
three of them,
And
and then Sam
Russell,
Billings can play as a fourth one.
Yeah,
yeah,
is that the right
Or
combination of?
maybe they can
I,
rope in Sheldon as a
not the
wicketkeeper.
best.
Not the best of the choices, but I'm sure they're not left of the options, I'm sure.
Correct. Which is why I'm a little surprised that Kolkata didn't pick an Indian wicketkeeper, like a proper Indian wicketkeeper. That was a little
Yeah,
surprising.
Yeah, I had
somebody
anticipated
who's
Diman
played a few
Saha might.
matches.
Yeah, good one, Salil. Even I was thinking they'll pick somebody who has played a few matches and is good enough. All right, so Kolkata, they're not huge surprises that like Jofra incident. Next one I want to talk about is Hyderabad. Again, they've won the title a few years ago. Had a big churn last year because of the captaincy issue. Uh, Arun's favorite captain is there. Favorite player is in this team. So I'm going to have Arun to go first on this. Firstly, Arun, Kane Williamson, you are in New Zealand. You should try and meet him and get us some update about how is his elbow going to be and is he going to be fit for the Indian T20 League?
Hopefully, the minute I'm out of, I'm not too far from where he stays, but for that I need to get out of quarantine first. But yeah, I hopefully will be able to meet him at some point. Hopefully, his elbow will also recover quickly and no, not struggle during the league. I mean, he's the captain now, so he needs to play all the 14 games at least. Uh, but my worry with that team, Akhil, is where are the runs coming from? At least till the last stage of the auction, till before the last stage of the auction, the notes I've
Hmm.
written is where are the runs coming from? Where is the batting? So I'm just going to read through what Sunrisers Hyderabad have, uh, and I'm worried. I'm worried where are the runs coming from? They've got a decent bowling attack. Let me just read what they have right now. So,
They
so
have, yeah, go on.
They've got Nicholas Puran, they've got Priyam Garg, they've got Rahul Tripathi, who's an outstanding pick, Abhishek Verma,
Yeah,
Abhishek
Aiden
Sharma rather,
Markram,
sorry,
Sharma,
Vishnu
yeah,
Vinod, Aiden
Markram.
Aiden
Markram,
Markram, yeah.
yeah, Glenn Phillips. So Glenn Phillips is coming at the back end, which kind of boosts the batting.
yes.
But it's still there's still a question mark over Hyderabad's batting for me.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
They
Salil,
they
your
don't
thoughts
have
about
many
this
people
one?
who scored more than yeah, they don't have many batsmen who've scored let's say more than 300 or 400 runs consistently. I mean, you only have a Kane Williamson and rest I think there are only names. Markram has been very productive in the last year or so for South Africa, looking like one of those top batsmen. And so I think yeah, there's somewhere where I think they need Abhishek Sharma or an Abdul Samad need to really step up into a match-winning mode where you're playing in and winning 5 out of the 14 matches you play. But then that's again pipe dreams because it things really don't turn out overnight, you know. So that's where I feel that might be a little bit of experience and consistency which they lack in. The bowling department, I think they look fair enough as per whatever they wanted. I think they've got a Bhuvaneshwar back, a Natarajan back, and they'll be backing themselves with some of their old players.
Before you ask the next question, Akhil, if you were to compare
Yeah,
with what Hyderabad had last season, you lose David
yeah.
Warner, you get a Glenn Phillips in, hopefully, right? You lose a Johnny
Yeah,
Bairstow, and you get who do they have? Sorry,
Puran
just
Puran,
my
in.
page.
Puran,
They've
Puran,
got
Puran,
you get
Puran in,
Puran.
Puran.
correct? Exactly,
Yeah,
they've got Puran in, and then the middle order model which existed last season still exists. So you've got Rahul Tripathi in place of Manish Pandey, right? You've got Abhishek
Correct.
Correct.
Sharma who can
yeah,
score runs. You've got
Yeah.
Priyam Garg. You've got
yeah.
Abdul Samad. So what have they really addressed in these last 3 4 months? I mean, it's the same problem
Brilliant
that's
point.
getting carried
They've
forward.
got
These three
haven't they
were
got
there last
Washington
year
Sundar
also.
also?
They have
They've
Washington
they've got
Yes,
Sundar in
they have
that
Washington
Washington
formation
Sundar
as
as
Sundar.
well.
well.
Yeah, that's a good pick for them. So yeah, I
Okay.
think
Washington
they're being
Sundar's
more
again a
optimistic.
bowler. In the context of T20s,
Exactly.
Washington Sundar's a bowler who can bat, not a batsman who can bowl, right? So he'll give you 4 overs every single match, but don't expect him to score 30, 40, 50 runs. He's not a batter.
Might as well throw him in as an opener. So that is just, once or twice, but not more than that. I mean,
Got it. Good one. Okay, okay. There is obviously the Rahul Tripathi decision which I wanted to get into, but there are the other teams and we are getting updated squads also going from there. So I'll move on to the next one very quickly, gentlemen. There is a Delhi who've been very successful last couple of seasons. Built a good squad. Again, one of our favorites there, Ricky Ponting, who's been instrumental in putting this together. I think they've got something going here, guys. I think this is a good lineup they've made. David Warner at the price of 6.25 crores is absolutely a steal, in my opinion. Uh, Quick
definitely.
thoughts about this one, Delhi.
Well, I think Mitch Marsh
Bhavik,
is and Shardul Thakur. Okay, Bhavik, go for it.
Yeah,
then go
Well,
for it,
it's
Salil, go
fine.
for it.
go
Sorry.
for it, Salil. No problem.
Yeah, so Shardul Thakur and Mitch Marsh for me are two very big players in this Delhi squad. I think with these two players, they manage and open a lot of other spectrums from an all-round perspective. They have Rishabh Pant. They've also taken another keeper in KS Bharat, who I think really deserve, like a first keeper spot. So I hope that talent doesn't go wasted. But apart from that, their batting and their all-round abilities with an Akshar Patel and Prithvi Shaw, Kuldeep Yadav, they've got. I think it's quite good. So they've got Mustafizur for really
Okay.
cheap. They got Sakaria for just four crores, and Yashdul, one of the younger players, also they've got for 50 lakhs. So I think they have something that's happening, and I think they put their faith in Rishabh Pant and the youth. That they want to just build it from here as a franchise and not take those really big names here.
Hmm.
But
Arun,
I,
Bhavik,
I
any
am I,
surprises?
I am only saying Rabada not in that lineup as a huge dent. I mean, he was very pivotal in that whole setup. I mean, he was leading the bowling attack. But again, they've sort of went and trusted Andrik Norkia for this season. But I really feel Rabada not being a part of the Delhi bowling setup is a big dent.
Huge dent. That irreparable
Yeah.
dent there. Arun?
Couple of issues. I mean, I've given Delhi in my squad assessment 4 out of 5, but couple of areas that I'm concerned about, Akhil. They've got they've got so many left arm bowlers in their team. I mean, it's like a
Hmm.
factory of left arm bowlers. You've got Mr. Fizur, you've got Chetan
Sakaria,
Sakaria, who else? You've got Sakaria. There was one more left arm quick there. I'm just looking through the list,
Kuldeep Yadav,
and I can't.
maybe.
Kuldeep Yadav, left arm spinner again.
Khalil
Khalil
Ahmed?
Ahmed, there you go. So
Khalil Ahmed.
exactly. So three
Yeah,
left arm
Khalil.
pacers, one left arm wrist spinner, one left arm spinner, and Akshar Patel. I think they're missing one good leg spinner, Akhil. They're missing one good leg spinner. They've got somebody like Praveen Dubey, but who might not play every match. Praveen Dubey is an outstanding fielder and a useful leg spinner. I don't know if
Yeah.
he'll play every match. So I think they're missing a leggy there. That's the one thing they're missing. But otherwise, solid team. Like I said,
Hmm.
four
I
out of
think
five.
they'll. I think everybody's happy with Delhi. I think the player that they're going to miss the most is going to be Shikhar Dhawan. He's not spoken about
Yeah.
too much, but the runs that he got them last couple of seasons has has been the savior for them. More than I
Hmm.
think he's been more consistent than David Warner also over the last couple of seasons. So he's going
Yeah.
to be the biggest miss.
Correct.
Uh, so that's the Delhi squad. The next one is Punjab went into the auction with a heavy purse. We've always been surprised by some of the decisions. First thoughts, gentlemen, on this one. Who's going to be captain at Punjab? Havik, go first.
I really feel Mayank is there. He's like he led last time when KL was not around. So I really feel the management would, sort of bank on him or maybe a certain Shikhar Dhawan. But for me, if, it's a Mayank Agarwal. It's like it's no choice. You have to bank on him because he has led you in the
Salil?
past and done well.
Yeah. Well, I think becoming captain of a franchise would be slightly overwhelming for Mayank Agarwal, who's been unlucky in and out of the squad. It might or it could take his T20 career anyway. I think Shikhar Dhawan would be an easy bet for them because somebody who's got the experience and can absorb the pressure, and Mayank Agarwal at the other end can also play freely and be the vice captain and maybe build him for the future. So Shikhar Dhawan for me would be the right choice purely because you need the mental conditioning of these players to last through the whole tournament.
Hmm. Arun, Mayank, why not? Why not as a captain? No, not for you.
Not for me. I think Shikhar will be made captain. Couple of quick points, Akhil. If you heard Nes Wadia at the auction, he mentioned they're looking to rebrand the team. Now, I don't know if it meant renaming the team itself and if it meant developing a new culture, whatever it was, but it was an interesting comment from Nes Wadia. I'm going to keep my eyes trained on them. And Shikhar Dhawan for me as captain.
Okay. Next one I'm going to talk about. We've got a lot of flag for that around where we said Sanju Samson being retained at that cost. But Rajasthan again, interesting pick. They've picked some interesting lists there. Uh, Thoughts, thumbs up, thumbs down for Rajasthan, each of you. Salil, why don't you go first?
It's like a 50-50 for me because I wouldn't spend 5 crores on a Ravichandran Ashwin. How long is he really going to play? You've
Hmm.
already taken Chahar, Yuzvendra Chahal, and you've got a Hetmeyer. Prasidh Krishna is one guy that you banked on. You also banked on Devdutt Padikkal. So yes, they've really gone for the youth there. They've also got Trent
Hmm.
Bolt. So they've got experience and youth, a mix of that. But yeah, I think I'm little surprised with at what cost did they get Ravichandran Ashwin. Maybe they could have got someone younger there.
They going to have a good fielding coach for sure. Bhavik, you happy with this squad?
Well, we have always seen Rajasthan, as a blend of youth and a couple of experienced campaigners coming in. But this time around, I guess, day one, I was pretty much satisfied with what Rajasthan Royals picked. But coming into day two and, just holding their bars and just not spending too much on the players, I really feel they just lacked a bit of strategical moves. So it could have been better. That's my point of view.
Arun, I think the social media and Twitter is going to be is really happy. The social media team at Royals is going to be really happy. Ashwin is there. He is by far the best cricketer on social media, Indian cricketer on social media. So they're going to have a blast on social media this time. They've got Riyan Parag also.
Let's
Uh,
not
You,
forget
you,
Rian
you,
Parag.
what's
Correct, correct. Their social media game is top notch. Ashwin,
sorted?
who manages the social media, and Riyanpara. But for me, from my side, if you want to know how to fluff an auction, watch Rajasthan Royals at the auction in 2022.
Okay,
I
that's a
watched anything
documentary
more.
in the making. Agreed. Arun, we can go on and on about this, but again, time is limited. Okay, Bangalore next. Again, perennial, interesting team at the auction. Everybody wants to know the big buys, the big spends that they make, the glamour people that they take. They had to replace AB de Villiers, Salil. That was virtually impossible, but they've replaced him with another friend of his. Will he be captain? Will he be
Yeah.
captain at Bangalore?
Well, that's a very good possibility with the kind of experience he's had as a captain. The other option for being a captain would be Glenn Maxwell. I don't think there's
Or a
any other
DK?
person apart from these two guys who'll be it. I doubt if they'll make him the captain, but I think the picks that they've taken in Harshal Patel and Hasaranga are pretty good. DK, I don't
Hmm.
know with his kind of the experience after his KKR thing where he was changed and you got Alan Morgan. So maybe for he's taken more for his wicket keeping abilities and his the way he bats at number six. But most probably for me, it might be a Duplessis or a Maxwell who might lead them.
Arun, I've been reading a lot of fan flack on social media about Bangalore not going after local lads. Devdutt Padikkal not going back to Bangalore, I think, is in the long term. It's a move that will hurt fans a lot because like we discussed, he's been a fantastic find for them. So, thoughts about that? Bangalore and captain Faf.
I saw Manuja Virappa, the journalist, write on this. I saw a couple of other local journalists mention this. You spoke about Devdutt Padikkal, but there are so many, Akhil. Prasidh Krishna has gone
Yeah,
off. Shreyas Gopal's picked up by somebody else. You've got Abhinav Manohar, who nobody heard of, had known of in the IPL circles, has been picked up by somebody. So there are lads. It's been a huge problem with Bangalore over the years, and they continue to err. They had Pawan Deshpande in their side last time. Again, released, without giving a game, without seeing what he's capable of. Give him an opportunity. That's been a disappointing thing with Bangalore.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, the crowd will still back Bangalore until Virat Kohli is there, right? The crowds
yeah.
thronged the
Yeah,
stadium, thronged the Chinnaswamy Stadium until Chris Gale was there, AB de Villiers was there, Virat Kohli was there. The minute Virat Kohli is done,
yeah.
you need somebody to draw crowds in. Who is that?
Draw crowds in and draw sponsors in also. If the team is not winning, then there's a problem selling. It's right now it's Virat, the brand, that brand Virat Kohli is the guy who's managing to sell for them. Yeah, but you're right. Bhavik, quick one, captaincy for Bangalore.
Well, irrespective of the captain, if we look at the 11, if I look at the 11 players of RCB, it's a very star-studded, T20 lineup. But bench is a concern here. You bring
Hmm.
in Finn Allen, you bring in Jason Behrendorff. I'm sure Hazel would be your starter, but you've bought him, you've bought Jason Behrendorff. Both are sort of alike, but at the same time, the Indians in the bench is a worrisome
Hmm.
factor for RCB in this 3 years to come.
Good one there. Okay, two new teams. We'll start with Lucknow. Experienced owner. We spoke about that in the past. If we can have a quick look at the Lucknow lineup there. Any surprises there, gentlemen? Like, did you anticipate something? So any of these not being a part? Any
One,
big surprises?
yeah, for me, the big surprise was Krunal Pandya being picked after they picked Deepak Huda. I think this is something I
Hmm.
put on Twitter also, that they've not been reading the newspapers. But yeah, I mean, they're going to play in the same squad, and I think the management will try and bridge their gaps or whatever. But I think all in
Hmm.
all, this squad looks like a very good squad, at least on paper. They've got KL Rahul, who's the costliest player, you can say, on 17 crores. They've got a Jason Holder, who again can double up as a captain in case there's an issue. He's shown a lot of promise. They've got Avesh Khan, Krunal Pandya, Deepak Huda, Quinton de Kock. So this is another star-studded lineup on paper. Whether this will really perform like an engine, like they should do, probably in their first year, we'll have to just wait and watch. But all in all, I think they've had a decent first auction, and getting Evan Lewis in the end was also like an icing on the cake. He came in really cheap, around 1.3 crores.
Bhavik, thumbs up, thumbs down. Any surprises there? Hardik,
Two
Krunal
points,
Pandya.
Akhil. Quickly on this.
Arun, bhai, yeah.
Yeah, go Arun.
No, no, go for it, Bhavik. Bhavik, go for it.
Just one thing here. I had this memory with me. I heard quoted, I like Gautam Gambhir quoted a statement where, spending more than 10 crores for a bowler who would just deliver 4 overs, to me does not make sense. So now they have Avesh Khan with 10 crores. They have Mark Wood with some 7.5 to 8 crores. So I don't know the clarity of thoughts, but there it is. So this is IPL for you.
IPL auction.
You
Yes,
you
Arun,
you pull the
you had two
words.
thoughts.
You pull the words out of my mouth, Bhavik. I think Lucknow's tagline should be creating crorepati's. Their
Okay.
first 10 players or something, Akhil. I was watching the auction. The
Astonishing.
first 7, 8, 10 players that Lucknow picked were all crorepati's. Extraordinary spend.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, I think they put together a decent team, a fairly
Decent.
good team. Uh, the only worry I have, the only concern I have, only grouse I have, is why KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock. I mean, both of them are wicket keepers, right? I thought
Yeah,
Quinton de Kock could have been better utilized elsewhere. Also, I
super
mean,
point.
that's assuming KL Rahul keeps wickets.
Yeah, yeah, good point there. I mean, both could have been options. Also, this is going to be a big test for KL Rahul's captaincy. Arun, he's got two. He's already has two full seasons with Punjab. This is another new team he's going to be leading now. The owner's been going to come in with a lot of money, a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure on the captain. So he'll be hoping that the captain delivers there. Okay, so this is Lucknow. Then we move on to the 10th team, the new team there. Hardik Pandya as the captain. Ahmedabad. I thought Krunal Pandya will definitely go to Ahmedabad. So that was a big
Yeah,
surprise
same
for
here.
me. But yeah, Salil, please, any big other surprises here?
Well, no, actually, I think out of all the teams, this is another team which has got probably their auction wrong. I mean, you've got Lockie Ferguson towards the end. Yes, a good death bowler. You've also paid around 9 crores for Rahul Tewatia. If you're really highly rating, somebody at like Rahul Tewatia, I think most of the other players also that you see, yes, you got one of the best spinners in the world, Rashid Khan, in this squad. You've got a Jason Roy to open, but the remaining side looks a little dilly-dally for me. There are names like
Yeah,
Shubman Gill, but at the same time, I think they don't look like they had the
yeah.
best of options. They had around 15 to 16 players towards the fag end of the second day, and they really
Yeah.
hurried to buy a lot of players towards the end. So I think they might be
Hmm.
missing out on a couple of pieces that might take them to the top four.
Hmm. Bhavik, do they have enough batters, you think, who can win IPL, who can win IPL games of their own? I mean, people like Virat and Shikhar, they've been doing these for years, winning matches on their own bat. Not nobody that we know of here. Shubman Gill is there, but he's not really won too many games for Kolkata of his own bat.
Exactly, but here I'm not sure about the batters. Jason Roy would be, he should be the batting captain actually for this unit, the most experienced guy in this, whole squad. But at the same time, there are a few exciting talents that have, sort of come in. There's Noor Ahmed, who has been, playing decently fair, in the other domestic T20 leagues. There's been Dominic Drakes. Even he's someone to, sort of look forward to. And then there's Sai Kishore. They won the bidding war with Chennai. I mean, the local boy from Chennai, they won the bidding there. But it will be really exciting to see him pair alongside Rashid Khan.
Arun, will Hardik
Just
Pandya
one,
bowl?
He will bowl. He will
yeah,
definitely bowl. If he wants to play for
yes,
India again, Akhil, he's got to bowl. And as a captain, if he doesn't bowl, that's the end of his India career, I'm afraid.
yeah.
Going
And
to
I
be
was
interesting
about
to
to
see
say
how he
that making
balances that.
Hardik Pandya as captain, he really has to perform with the bat and the ball. All the focus is going to be on him. And if he's not able to do that, he can really forget about his India career because he recently made a
I,
statement he's not going to play any domestic cricket also. So this is the IPL for him to perform.
he hasn't started off on the right note, Akhil. I'll just finish with this. For the longest time, Gujarat did not pick a wicketkeeper. Until the last 25, 30 minutes of the auction, they did not pick a wicketkeeper. That's elementary. That's
Yeah.
fundamental in a cricket team. How can you not pick a wicketkeeper when you've spent about 60, 70 crores is beyond me. So they've not made the best of starts.
Yeah,
And then they ended up signing Ridhiman Saha and Matthew Wade. Uh, Hurried auction, no direction.
yeah,
They've ended up picking a player like
yeah.
David Miller, who's been there, not delivered year in, year out. So
Good one.
thumbs down for
Good
me.
one. Okay, okay. Interesting names, interesting thoughts. We as cricket fans love talking the discuss cricket. Quick thoughts, gentlemen. Just one line from each of you before we wrap up for tonight. It's been a long for everyone, all cricket fans. To just have a quick wrap up, and we should would you start?
I can go first.
Go first. Sorry, yeah, please go first.
Yeah, well, I think the auction looks good for some teams, great for some teams, and really terrible for a few. This might be yet another one-sided IPL, I think, where four or five teams really take it up top, and there will be a few teams that really struggle purely because of the kind of combination that they might want to set, or they've got a new coaching staff, they've got a new captain. So all in all, I think this might be one of those IPLs where your older ones like Chennai, SRH, or MI come through towards the end purely because they're slightly oiled together well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even I would, sort of double what Salil actually said. First year of a different combination coming in altogether would definitely irk some side. But at the same time, the one who picks up the combination right and first actually would, sort of just go through.
We have more of this going. We wrap up.
Okay, my assessment is, Delhi have the best squad, followed by Lucknow and Mumbai, right? Chennai, it was a missed opportunity to identify a captain and a team for the next 3, 4, 5 years. That's a missed opportunity. All the other teams, rest of the teams are a 3 out of 5. Not surprisingly, Rajasthan are right at the bottom. Another completely messed up auction for me. another fluffed up opportunity. But that's about all we can talk about the auction, Akhil.
All right, lots to talk. We've had like an interesting 2 days. Teams will be just going back, having their dinner, just sitting quietly now, keeping away from their phones and like getting some energy back. All right, so lovely timeout with Sports Adda is a show we have. We want a lot of cricket fans. We want to hear a lot of opinions. So, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. Again, interesting
Thanks,
auction.
Akhil.
We'll be back here at timeout with sports the still up. Contest we have a chance to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Good
so
night,
much.
All
Akhil.
right.
Good night, guys.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.